Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about Alliance Quest and the initial kind of like findings of trying out the new changes in Alliance Quests, mainly the epic modifiers and mainly the implications that will leave, and the thing that we kind of missed out and didn't really even cover, and that is the fact that with epic modifiers opponents also get a 50% attack and health boost. And now for the first glance and from the first initial impressions, 50% health and attack boost obviously doesn't sound too much because we're so used to hearing these attack and health boost in terms of Alliance War, and so much more significant boost if we may add. Quite often mini bosses have 300% attack and health boost, and boss has another like 700% health boost, so on and so forth. But here is the difference that we kind of like didn't realize, and in my opinion all collectively underestimated the total increase in difficulty that will bring, is the simple fact that these 50% attack and health boosts are getting applied to max out 6-star champions. And this is actually the second time I'm recording this video. The first time I actually tried to showcase a bit of gameplay, but it was laggy, so I decided to re-record the video, and instead of the entire full on video we're going to be basically just comparing the screenshots. So this is my first fight on day 1 in map 7, and that is Magneto. As you can see here, he is 7.6k attack rated champion and 110,000 health, and that is day 1 for ASR, which is quite high prestige alliance, but not quite as high as NY. And a reason why that is important is because I'm going to compare the attack and health values to a video I uploaded about a half a year ago whilst I was in NY. Now, since it was half a year ago, obviously the prestige levels overall were lower back then. However, since it was NY, and NY is typically quite significantly ahead in the competition of the rest of the alliances in terms of prestige, the prestige NY had back then in January was relatively similar to the prestige ASR is at now. And so let's just turn on the display capture. I found a video that I uploaded myself on YouTube, full day 5 Alliance Quest, map 7 run, no items, and I specifically chose a champion that's relatively similar to Magneto in his base stats in terms of like attack and health value. Both of them are like medium-sized champions, so similar stats altogether. And here we can see that Punisher has 103,000 health and 8,000 attack. So that effectively currently means that day 1 of AQ has the same rated champions as day 5 used to have. And that is the difference of these modifiers. And that is the difference that 50% attack and health increase does to champions in Alliance Quest, because obviously, as you can see, they are rank 5 6-star champions. And that obviously means that the going is going to get a lot tougher. The going is going to get a lot tougher for the next following days, where obviously the increase in prestige is going to carry on and the attack and health levels are going to be significantly higher. And when it comes to regular path fights, yes, it will be annoying, yes, it will make it somewhat difficult, but I think it's gonna be kind of like possibly all right. I'm not entirely sure. I hope it's gonna be all right. I hope it's gonna make it more challenging instead of depressing, but obviously when you use the word as challenging, it immediately means somebody is gonna pay them pots somewhere, and I don't want to kind of throw a negative hissy fit here because I haven't played it through yet, so I'm not going to do that. I'm open-minded. I just wanted to put this video out there from awareness perspective, in case your alliance is someone who is considering going to map 7 to epic modifiers to get those 10% TFI plus catalyst fragments weekly. Then you have to be ready to deal with significantly harder opponents in terms of health and attack values, not to mention that epic modifiers in themselves are significantly more complex and trickier to deal with. And speaking of them, we can just jump quickly here in forums. For today we have went with, so say it, the Doom epic modifier, And the first piece of advice here is going to be, if you are confused by the icons of what you have to do exactly, press pause. It will let you know it has those game HUDs telling you intercept or telling you block or inflict debuff or whatever else you have to do. So that's very important. Second thing is that they can double, because it says 2 of the following actions are randomly chosen, but both of them can double. And the worst case scenario is when they double on special attack, especially in many matchups where your aggression levels can be heavily hindered if opponent goes unstoppable, or opponent has a wade, or opponent has a significant amount of power gain. And the simple fact that within 17 seconds you need to be able to gain at least a bar of power, assuming you had a bar of power, or 2 bars of power if you were kind of like completely fresh off the bat. So that's what you have to do within 17 seconds, and that's difficult in itself. In addition to that, you also need to obviously sit out at least 1 special attack animation and then kind of like launch your second special attack. And additionally, on top of that, you quite likely might have to bait out a special attack of your opponent and sit out through their animation. So as I experienced in my first fight, it immediately put on a huge amount of stress in you in the fight if you see 2 special attack icons with, let's so say, the Doom. And yeah, it was very stressful immediately. And obviously this is the first time I'm dealing with a node. Perhaps it's gonna get easier. Still have the rest of the nodes to go through. You can ignore this node if you're Fantastic Four. However, Fantastic Four are not really viable champions for plenty of different lanes in Alliance Quest altogether, so that will not be an option for a large portion of the people. And again, yeah, the times you're gonna have to throw 2 special attacks within 17 seconds, they are going to be touch and go for many people. And the fact that the penalty of this debuff is going to carry on for the next 3 fights is going to be super annoying. And obviously then we have rest of the fun and interactive nodes. Parry Curse, which is effectively going to make every fight as in stun immune. That's going to be very fun and interesting. Then we have Turn the Tide, Cascading Failure, and possibly Power to Cover is going to be the most annoying one, which is why I'm planning to make another video kind of like summary of how it felt going through these nodes after either this cycle or perhaps another cycle once we have had a chance to play on a different map with different opponents in a different week with different mini-boss. But so far it does seem quite scary. These increased attack values plus these nodes are quite stressful. And again, keep in mind that this is going to be something that we have to deal with the first thing we wake up, last thing we do before we go to bed. And yeah, I am significantly worried for many people. Additionally, the new mini bosses obviously are gonna turn a lot of attention to lower map players, which is something obviously I'm gonna try and gather some feedback. And we have the Thing changed mini boss fights upcoming as well, but now with the epic modifiers obviously they're going to be significantly harder. If you have to intercept the Thing twice in within 17 seconds or land 2 special attacks on Thing twice in between 17 seconds, that might be quite a tall order to ask. So I'm really not sure how well thought out these nodes are in the combination of increased difficulty in general plus different changed fights. So for now, I'm not gonna throw again like some sort of tantrum. I'm perfectly willing and open to test it out, see what my alliance thinks, see what you guys think. So leave a comment, tell me what are your personal experiences with updated Alliance Quest. How do you work out these new path identities and new globals, I guess, and whatever else that we have. But that will pretty much do for me today, because yeah, we can check out that day 1 has day 5 power levels at large, and obviously significantly harder global nodes to deal with. So overall, Alliance Quest Map 7 specifically just got a whole lot scarier. Maybe it's gonna go away, maybe it's just because it's so new. But yeah, I'm not gonna keep you much longer than that. We're just gonna jump back to the final screen. So I'm gonna show a bit of Baby Yoda to you, and as you are getting mesmerized by the beauty of this tiny little green force-sensitive creature, why don't you hit that like button, why don't you hit that sub button, drop down the comment section, let me know what are your initial impressions about the updated modifiers, updated mini bosses, and yeah, updated power levels in Alliance Quest, specifically if you play AQ map 7. But that is pretty much it for today's video. I really do hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya!